Check 1 2 check. All right, now I should have audio. I should be going loud and clear. It looks like I'm a little high though. Check 1 2 check 1 2. That should sound good. Hopefully I'm not peaking. Let me just check. Doesn't look like I am. Hi guys, if there's anyone out there and they're catching this stream, I'm just messing around with my stuff and just basically testing some things on my stream. I'm going straight through OBS, and lately I've been streaming through StreamYard, so I'm actually just messing with a few things to see how things look. Let me see if you guys will catch this side view. This should 2 3 4. I'm curious to see how far behind. Okay. So low latency, and let me see. I'm gonna time this how long it takes me to switch from when I do switch the camera to when I see it. And 1 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. About 10 seconds behind. Okay, so I'm 10 seconds behind in live time, and that's not too bad. And I didn't even hit low latency because I'm not really sure how well my stream health is, even though it does say excellent. So that's good to know. Okay. And so I'm just setting up this whole thing, and you guys know I've been practicing probably with my streams and my setup for a while now, and I am currently just working on setting up my stream. So each week I want to start doing a stream, and this is right through some software instead of StreamYard, so the resolution's a lot better for me with going straight from StreamYard. So that's why I wanted to do it. But if you're out there and you do see me, and I haven't streamed much on YouTube, and it's usually been on Facebook, just say hi, drop a link, say hi, let me know that you can hear me. As far as the look, I think I'm looking pretty good in general, even though I don't have my lights in my background set up or anything. But this is my side camera that I have right here now. And then I have another camera that is going to be set up from the background. But this is just set up right on the side. Oh, boom. That's my Sony ZV-1. It's incredible how fast it will focus. It's just like you hold something right up to it, and it's just like boom, automatically will just show you. So but I've been working on having everything set up. I'm going to have another camera in the back soon. It's a Canon M50 Mark II, and that's straight from the back side. Let me just type this in and say hi. Okay, so I know you guys can hear me now. For a second, I just didn't have my audio settings set up correctly because I'm dealing with a few different things. So at that time, I didn't have it set up right. So I'm just going to drop a little high out there. And okay. So this is what I'm looking at right now. I'm going to show you guys. This is basically the things that I'm looking at. So I'm going into here and you can see like there's 2 people watching, and I have my little average watch time, and I have on my right side I can see the chat, and so I go through these things and look at that. And then I can go into my stream health and see how that is. So far it says excellent connection, and I'm using an ATEM mini switcher to go through my cameras, and it should be sounding pretty good. I'm going to go back and check this stream out and see how it looks. And I'm going to start, I think, on Thursday nights at about 9 Eastern. I think I'm going to do an hour stream of question and talk about tech stuff. So eventually I'm going to be jumping online and then talking about tech, and people can ask some questions and we can get into it, maybe about what cameras we're using, or anything that floats their boat about streaming, to be honest with you. What mics you may use, the difference between audio interfaces, the Rodecaster Pro, anything as far as streaming. If anybody wants to talk about it, we can. I'm going to actually go over a couple things. One of them is using HDMI extenders, and whether or not anyone's used them before. I just wanted to extend one of my HDMIs to about 30 feet, and what I noticed is, out of my 4 ports in my ATEM Mini, I was just you could only push out 25 feet from usually port 1, but I like my port 1 to be my main cam when it's coming in, so I didn't want to have to be my far cam to be on number 1. So I bought myself a fiber optic HDMI cord, and that got hooked up, and instead of having, like, they're hard to find to go from HDMI to HDMI micro. So what you have to do is just get yourself a regular HDMI cord, fiber optic, and then you plug into an adapter that goes from HDMI to HDMI micro right into your camera, which is good anyway, because that will stay plugged in all the time, so you're not constantly like plugging in an HDMI cord and pulling out, and the wear and tear on your camera over the hundreds of times or thousands of times that you may be doing it. So that alone could help you with the wear and tear, and maybe just switching that up a little bit will be beneficial. I just ordered a cage for my M50, and then this is the ZV-1 right here, and I have a cage for this, and this is pretty much going to be like right on my desktop. And if I ever want to show something or illustrate something really quick, like for instance, this is pretty much like the little dongle that I am talking about. So it's like an HDMI right in here, and then this switches right over to a micro. So right there, you have a little bolt right here on the side, and then you just attach that to your cage of your camera, and then this stays constantly plugged in, and then you just plug right into the HDMI all the time. And that's great because the fiber optic cable let me get about I bet you I could throw easily a 50-footer on there and just run it. Now, a 50-footer fiber optic, I think it was like $67. So it's definitely more cost effective. I don't think people know that you can do this. So it's like you can spend $80 right there versus spending a minimum of 80 to 100 for an HDMI extender that you have to plug in on both sides, and then you have to run Cat 5 in between. So you're going to go and spend the money for the extenders, and then you're going to spend the money for the Cat 5 to be done. And if you're not lucky like I am, where some people that have some Cat 5, and you can crimp on your own RJ45s and then just run that, that could cost you practically double. So I like the convenience of having that fiber optic HDMI and just throwing that on there. So that's what I'm going to do for now on, I think, is just unless I'm going to be running something or setting up something for somebody, like say if they wanted to have something in their backyard and you were running from a laptop or something and you wanted to film people or a concert or in a bar or something like that, and you wanted to live stream it to YouTube or Facebook, then that could be different, where running the extenders would just definitely make much more sense to do that. So I'd have to see. What's cool is on my OBS, I don't know if I could do this. Oh, I've been messing around with this. I should test this right now, actually, too. I have a little timer that I've been messing with, and let's see if this will work. Let me see here. I'm gonna throw this up over me and this over, and let's see if this will count down for me. So this is something that I just threw together really quick. So it's gonna be a picture of me, and it's gonna be kind of transparent where you'll be able to see me through the background. And then I have a countdown timer. And so I've kind of been perfecting it, because for a couple times that I've only used it, the one time it didn't work. So I wanna just see if it works right now. So there's my countdown timer. Okay, and so every time I started at like 5 minutes, and this is the transparency. So this here I could work with, I guess, and make that a little bit more. I can make this picture a little less I can change that all the time. So let me see. All right, so that is here, and this file. All right, I'll mess with that another time. So then I would just throw this on, and then basically I'll just mute my camera. I mean, I'll mute my mic. I'll mute my mic and then start some music. So then I would do something like this, and the music should be coming through. And I can mute my mic. And that would be my intro music as I'm going into countdown. Okay. And then we'll see if how that works out. Let's see how that looks. Just want to make sure I can get enough of this in so I can hear it. And then it will stop that. And then this is a little pad. It does a couple things.
Good gravy. Good gravy.
Just want to see how loud that comes in.
Good gravy.
And because the songs are usually pretty good about right about there. I want to see if that's not too loud or not. So this would just be my countdown timer. Is like if I came into the stream and I was setting up, I could just do this. I wonder if my camera is picking up my picture and trying to get on my eye or not. And then as I come in to end, then I could just basically stop these, boom, boom, and then come into the live stream right here. And that's it. And I have a way, and I have not tested it yet. I'm gonna have to do that soon. I need to test my ability to have someone call in. I'm gonna have to do that soon. Maybe I'll do that someday, real soon. But right now, I just have this stream and this camera, and then I'm gonna hook up my third camera. And then I have some little ambiance lighting in the background that's coming up. And what's kind of cool is, and I'll see if this updates. This should update automatically. I have to see if these alerts work. I have new subscriber alerts, and they come right up on my screen to show me for a new subscriber. So if I'm sitting here talking on a stream and a new subscriber just joins, then I could be like, thank you for subscribing. So I'm working on that too. Everything looks pretty good. All right. So I'm sure the music can be heard. It should be pretty good. And it shouldn't be too loud. It looks like the only thing I do have on it, I have a limiter, so this way it doesn't break people's ears if it does go above a certain point. This is matching into my shirt right here, my mic. Anyways. Alright, so we'll try that, and we'll see if that comes in. And these couple things right here. Alright. 7 o'clock at night. So I want to set up weekly on Thursdays to start doing the Q&A on tech stuff. So even if we just sit down and talk about stuff, or I have like a topic in mind, but I don't have to go into super detail with the topic if there's other questions or other people watching, because it's going to take a while for people to jump on and even consider listening to me anyway. So I'm going to have to rant and rave about something or discuss something anyways. So you see two of me now. So you see two of me? No, you don't see two of me. You're seeing the screen that I had up. You shouldn't be seeing two of me. So, I might as well just go check me out right now. Yeah, you don't see two of me. You see the screen. So the screen is showing me with the backdrop that I put in that you can see through. It's a picture that's transparent, and that's what you're seeing. And then there's the countdown timer that I had. And everything looks pretty good, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't even have anything set up really well yet. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right. And now the next thing will be is I'll do a full out test, but I'm going to have to adjust my lighting and have everything set up perfectly to be set up right. Because right now this lighting is not even bright. What's really awesome is I did get these lights sometime this year where I just take this little remote and boom, I turn this on, and then we go and hit each channel, and and now it really brightens up. And I can bring these down, and then I switch over to the other one, and I can bring this one down too, and that will bring in a lot of lighting. And then also what's really cool is my main camera. Yeah, I just adjusted that lighting. I just want to show you this really quick. My main camera right here, I have it hooked up USB also. So I can use the Canon Utility app right here. I'll just bring this down a little bit. There we go. And I can use this Canon Utility app if it's hooked up USB and it's hooked up HDMI. So I can go right in here and I can make changes right on the fly. So if I want to change my f-stop, or I want to change my ISO, or I want to change my picture style, or maybe a little bit more contrast or something, I can make that change without even touching the camera with this plugged in. So I always, on my main camera, I use the app and bring it up and always have it. So it just makes it really easy to make any adjustments right away. So right now, I just made the adjustment of bringing my ISO down. So I could bring it down a little bit more, and you can see it gets a little darker. And I'm at 400 ISO right now. And so that's really cool that you can make that kind of adjustment, and you could see it right on the screen. So I can go right here to 500, and that's probably pretty perfect right here, depending on what you're trying to achieve. Some people like that little dark look, who knows, and other people don't. So it kind of just depends on what you like. And then I have these little LED lights that I just throw right up, right in the background too. And they're really cool because they're hooked up to my phone, so I can really just change on the fly the colors of everything. They're not expensive. They're just outdoor LEDs for lighting. Let me see. Maybe I'll go plug those in really quick. Hang on. There, so now that's plugged in back there. I can go on my phone and I could just mess around and kind of like have a little change in how I want it to look every day. So if I'm out there and I'm like, you know what, I can go for a green background, then you can go and just tap my screen and basically just go put it right on there. See, this is what this camera is good for on the side. So I can go and hit this camera and just say, there's my app right on my screen. I could just go make my adjustments of like however I want. So I want to change the color. Boom, there's a little bit of a red background. Or I can go the blue. And I have this kind of magenta color, which is kind of cool, that I like to use a lot. I really like this color. I don't know why, I just do. And so that's really cool. It's right on your phone. I can have one be different than the other, so I could have like a little different look on both sides. And that's how that works. And this is definitely a lifesaver right here, having this lighting right here. You can make little adjustments. Otherwise, you have to get up and stand up and try to see how you look at the same time. And this was a no-brainer to have this. That's for sure. And it would be like a night and day difference without the lighting in front of me. That's for sure. That lighting makes a huge difference. If I was to turn this lighting off, it would be like so dark in here. But then I could just, depending how I want this to look, I can change the color in the background, and then I could change to 4 different cameras. But what I have is I have one camera coming from the side like I showed you. And this wall is going to have a few pictures on it really soon behind me. And that's getting worked on as I speak. And then this is all done in the background over here. And then I use one other capture for my screen. So this way you can see this is the stuff that's right on my screen right here. And I can show my screen, which I can do in different ways anyway. If I wanted to, I can go and just show you each screen differently by just using OBS. Let me see if I can show you this real quick. So right here, you should see my number 2 screen, right? Let me see. I have to wait a couple seconds to see what comes up on Facebook. Yeah, okay. So right now you're seeing what I see in OBS. And over to my left-hand side over here is my new subscribers in the last few days. And you can see where my audio settings are right here. And over on my right, you can see my chat. And this is in OBS. That is separate because this is OBS Live. That's separate from what you can see in YouTube. And then if I want to bring my ATEM Mini back on top, then this will bring me back right here. So I can show you both screens, but I like having in the ATEM Mini, I like having just one of them, so it's dedicated right for my screen. It just makes it so much more efficient to be able to show you really quick, well, this is what I want to show you, and then come right back to me. Or, like I said, if I have a camera over to my side, which the ZV-1, it's like made for YouTubing and for showing off a product, you know what I mean? So it's awesome how you can just go right to and just put it right up in front and it just focuses. I mean, it's like instant. It is instant. It's instantaneous. Boom. So if I go to my Canon in the front, and this is like typical of a lot of them. So right now I have a Canon EOS R in front of me with a 24 to 70 millimeter lens. And if I want to focus in on something, I have to like basically cover my eyes, and then hopefully this will get onto there. See? And it's kind of like slow. It's not like horrible, but it's slow. And it's because it's just the, you know, what it tries to do is just focusing on my eyes. And this camera is just meant to do what it's meant to do, which is boom, focus right on something as soon as it's put in front. I don't have to, I could be looking at this at the same time, but if this is in front of me, this is going to show up first. It's called showcase mode. And once I hit that button, whatever is in front is what gets focused on first. So that is really helpful for using for one of your cameras to be able to show it off any products or anything that you might be showing. And then I'm going to have a third camera set up in the background that is just going to show you like the whole setup. And that would be the idea for that. And so this is basically what I might do is I would do something like this right here would just be a question and ask kind of thing. The way this is set up, just like this. And then I would go through StreamYard if I was going to do interviews or have more than just me on talking about something. And that's something I might do in the future soon with having other YouTubers come on, and like we might discuss a few things amongst ourselves and like some of the things that we deal with being brand new YouTubers. And which is, there's a lot of things because not only are you well versed in trying to figure out how your camera works, you have to figure out these software products, then you have to figure out audio, and you have to figure out you have to learn how to use everything. So it's like you're an editor, and then you have to learn how to use the software to edit your video and then approve upon that. And it's constantly, you're trying to learn SEO to be able to promote yourself to your best ability on YouTube. And if you even know what that means, or trying to increase your average view time. So all those things are really important, because if you're putting up videos and you're getting, say you're getting an average amount of views, that's fantastic. But if you can really double your view time, then you could have less views technically, and you can get much more time watched. And that's what you really want, to be able to strive for that 4,000 hours that you need to be able to, be monetized on YouTube. So I'm fortunate enough to have at this time now, I think I'm going to be up to this week about 28 or 30 videos on my channel. And at this time right now, I could see the difference in some of the videos that I watch and where I went wrong. In the beginning, I was just putting these videos up, and I would throw in like the little intro thing, for 10 seconds or 7 seconds. Every time that I did that, just everybody skipped it. I mean, you could see, because I can see where people leave and where they go, and what they find interesting in the video. And the majority of the people were just skipping over that intro in the beginning, and it just didn't seem really worthwhile to me at this point right now to throw the intro in, because who am I on YouTube? So it's like I'm a nobody, and I'm trying to find my way, and people don't want to see an intro. So they want you to bring some content and some good content, and then maybe they'll watch an intro a year from now when you proved yourself. And so at this point, I'm just trying to prove myself and hopefully have people find something a little interesting in my videos that helps them. And then at that point, if because right off the bat, if you watch everybody with these new YouTube videos, right, they come out and they're new YouTubers, and the first thing they say is, hey, subscribe to my channel, hit the like button and ring the bell. And people are like, I don't even know who you are. Like, who are you? And so if you're not Peter McKinnon, or you're not someone that has, you know, a big following, no one really wants to hear that. And so they're going to skip right past that. And then what I have found lately now is I don't put an intro. I don't put an intro. I don't ask people to subscribe in the beginning, at least. I might throw in like a 10-minute video. After I explain some things, I say to people, if this has helped you in any way, I hope that maybe you would, you know, subscribe to me and give me a chance. Because if you're helping people out and you're giving them some knowledge and you're dropping something that they find useful in, then there's your chance. You know, there's your point where you could say, okay, this, you know, this is some guy, maybe I'm going to give him a chance. I'm going to go and hit subscribe and follow and see what the next thing is coming out with. And I'll tell you another thing about setting up your YouTube too is sometimes like I see things and I'm like, wow, this could be really helpful because I really can't find this. And if I can give some people an answer, you know, that would be really cool. Hence a couple of my last videos where it's just like I put something up and it's not going to be popular. It's not going to go and ring up, you know, a great amount of interest, but it's going to hopefully catch on where it's going to be useful to a decent amount of people over time. And so those are the types of things, like sometimes you have to plan out if you're trying to achieve a little bit of if you're trying to get monetized, you have to keep those things in mind too. So if you're going to throw up a couple of videos that are going to maybe help some people, that it is some pretty cool knowledge that you're dropping, and there's some cool things that are important for some people, but it's not like the mass majority want to know about this. But then as soon as you put down something, you know, for instance, the audio interface, the Motu M2 that I have, people love to hear about it. They want to know how different mics sound, and they want to know how the audio interface is in general. And so I have a new video coming out this week with 3 different mics on that audio interface. And people want to hear how different mics sound that have just come out. And that is like, that is a lot of interest for a lot of people, is knowing that type of stuff. Or like the Rodecaster, you know, like people want to see a piece of equipment, or the ATEM Mini. And that's another thing too, is that I can show you, is that if I go in here, I can just add myself up into a corner too. So this is my camera one right now. I have to switch it, but this is useful if I'm talking about something. I could pop myself around to each corner as I'm talking about a topic. And that will be useful for, you know, a lot of people when you're explaining some things. But I've gotten a lot of compliments on my main camera and how it looks, and I'm thankful for that. It's a great lens and it's a great camera. Like I said, it's a Canon EOS R. I think it's an outstanding camera. I think it's, if you can afford this camera, I think it's the camera to get when it comes to YouTubing. Just because it's a full frame, you have great lenses, you have 4K, and so without the crop. And so you have a lot of great things. You have also, you know, for taking pictures, it's just much more gradable all the way. But I mean, everyone knows this, that I'm a big fan of the Canon M50 also, because I just think for that kind of money, it's, you know, crazy. Crazy money. All right. So who stopped in here to say hi? Who's this? Derby Waba. How you doing, brother? Thanks for stopping in and saying hi. I'm kind of like messing around with things. I'm trying to get things so they're looking good and flowing good. And I appreciate if you did, if anyone sees me that they do stop in. I appreciate you saying hi. And because a lot of times I'll be on Facebook or on YouTube and I could see the views on Facebook. I mean, literally, I did this little on Coffee Talk and Tech on Facebook. I did a video on some great things to buy during Black Friday, and I got not too many comments, but I got like, that day I got 250 views on it. So what's up, Clever Carnage? How you doing? Thanks for stopping in and saying hi. I really appreciate that. Derba Wubba, you're gonna get that small Zing U mic, the small one, yeah. I think that for that price, it's really good. It sounds really good as long as you got that thing within a foot or under. And I like that it looks really awesome on a boom mic too, and you get that up. It sounds really good. I mean, I think it was just on sale right now for like $25. So really, how can you beat that? And then I just saw too, if no one has seen it on Amazon, the BM800 setup with the boom mic and the mic itself. It's an XLR mic, so if you don't have a audio interface, don't go out and buy it. But the boom mic and everything was $31. So you can't beat that for 31 bucks. I mean, you're getting everything you need. You basically got the shock mount, the mic, the boom arm, and it's just the cheap way to get set up. I mean, if you go out there and look on Facebook Marketplace or on eBay, whatever, you can find these Scarlett Solos for. I mean, if you keep an eye out, you can find it for 70 bucks. So, I mean, if you can get yourself something like a Scarlett, I mean, I have the Mo 2. I love that thing. I love it. And I have a new video coming out on Thursday with 3 different mics and the Mo 2. But if you can get the Mo 2, that's great. But the Scarlett, if you grab the Scarlett and you get a BM800 and you start out with that, I mean, that's 70, 89. So you're spending $100, 120 maybe with a cable, this and that. And you'll be so happy in the difference that way it sounds compared to a USB mic. So Clever Carnage is saying, I used to have the newer NW700 with the right settings and a voice meter, and it sounded pretty solid. Right. So, I mean, that's the thing. You're just trying to make these small improvements as you go, and that's kind of like the main thing. You're not trying to, be a hero and drop a ton on stuff, and you're just getting started to see where you go with this. The problem is with me is once I get started on something, I go a little crazy. So the camera equipment, I had some of this stuff on because my wife had a business. So we were doing some camera stuff, and then I built the computers that I have and my son has. He's got a little YouTube channel. If you've ever seen it on my YouTube, he's Matt's Mission down below. So subscribe to him if you ever see him. What do you got here? Derby Bubba. I'm getting the USB thing. The Zing. Yeah, no, right. I had some which around 50 bucks, which is all I need. Yeah, you're gonna get the USB Zing U that I did the review on, and for that USB Zing U, I was pretty impressed in the sound. I think it sounded really good, and basically it's nice and small and compact, and I think it looks really good. So it's really, you can jump right on there and just take that anywhere, which is great, right? And then also, I don't know if anybody out there is streaming, but there's cheap ways to get started. I mean, I have, that $15 capture card, 30 frames per second, and it's 15 bucks, but I did a video on that. But of course, everybody did. I didn't get any traction on my video. But I mean, you look at that video and it looks great. So if you're like stuck because you can't afford a Cam Link, which finally the prices came down. But you can get a $15 capture card that will look great. Let me see. What does this say here? The USB's in you, and the thing adds. So it's because I'm kind of out of those. Right. Yeah, the USB one. Yep. And what is that? The slides. So I don't know. I just picked up a new mic, and I actually did a video on it just the other day. This is my Rode NT1. I wanted to get myself a really good condenser mic, and so I did. I have two pod mics that I have right now, and the pod mics, let me see, is my audio a little low? I'm going to crank this up a little bit. Let me see. Let me know if I sound horrible or not, or if it's too overpowering or too low, if anybody wants to say. But if the pod mics are great, and I got those used, and I love the pod mic. The mic that I have now sounds really good. Now this whole setup, this Rode NT1, this is what this whole setup was $269, but I wanted to get a mic, and you don't need it. You don't need to have a really low noise floor with a mic, especially if you don't have the most silent, perfect conditions. So this is like a 4.5 dB noise floor on this mic. You can, as long as you stay within like, I say 15 or 18, you'd be in really good shape. And that's why a lot of people say that if you want to get a condenser mic, the MXL 990 is a really good mic for the price, which you can pick one of those up for $65 or so, and maybe $100 with the shock mount. Clever Carnage says that that you've been considering purchasing a pod mic. Well, the pod mic, I love the way it sounds, and especially if you're doing the podcasting, or I don't know what it is, but there's something about it that I just feel like it gives you some really nice definition in my voice. So I have a little bit of a deeper voice, and then when I use the pod mic, I think it just takes that sharpiness out of my low tone, and it just makes it much more much more definition, I think, in my voice. So I don't know, or maybe I like the change, so it's like it doesn't have to be the same all the time, and I could have some kind of change. And the dynamic mic too, which is cool, is it does push down that outside noise a lot, and that's also cool if you don't have the quietest conditions. And so but I'm waiting on I think Clever Carnage knows this, is that I'm waiting on my Clark Technic CM2. So I'm gonna have, it's a mic booster, and the crazy thing is it's two, because it's 2 ports in and out for the 2 mics. And I went to Sweetwater and I ordered them. They were $99, and that's a great price because you're getting 2 ports. And then I went and looked like 2 weeks later, and it was $49. So I called back up my rep, and if you haven't bought anything from Sweetwater, also, they really take care of you there. Their customer service is top notch, just to let you know. So I was talking to my rep, and I'm like, yeah, put me in for 2 of those, and I'm still waiting on those. They just take forever to get in. But the other thing is that's really cool is since I'm going right through YouTube Studio right now, and so what I do is from OBS, and you guys I'm sure know this, but there's plenty of people who don't even know what we're going to be talking about right here, but there are a lot of ways to do things. And what I do is I set up my virtual camera in OBS, and then I just send the A10 Mini into OBS, and then I have my switcher set up so I can have my different looks. this is a little too bright. I would adjust this, but I was just, I don't have it on auto ISO, and I adjusted the lighting afterwards. But so this way I could pop around and just show you here, you know, different looks. And I'm working on it, and I'm going to have my other camera set up in the back too. But so I set up my virtual camera. I don't have to do anything special, and I can just go and it accepts it right into YouTube. And what I didn't realize is I was doing some stuff earlier, and I had the sound coming through one of my cameras through my ATEM, and it wasn't using the sound from my Rodecaster. So I had to switch back over to my Rodecaster. So, but I think Clever Carnage, if you go with the pod mic, I think you'll be happy with it. And being that you have the booster, you can't go wrong for the price. You just can't. So that's another thing. And like I said, that MXL 990 is something that is really a good thing if you're interested in picking up a decent mic for the cost. And one other thing I think is a real nice mic is the AKG 120. So I don't think you can go wrong with any of those mics. And like you said, every mic has its personality and it's the way it sounds. And you know, you have to kind of figure out what works for you and what you're doing. And are you going to be EQing yourself? Like the great thing is that the Rode has the, you know, the processing built in, so I can just go in there and change things on the fly. Clever Carnage says that, yeah, I've got my SM57 with a windscreen, and that makes it sound good, but I'm looking to get something more suited for voiceover podcast type sound. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. See, that's why the NT1 is so good. I mean, I know it's a little expensive, but since it's so neutral, you can kind of like pull anything you want for making it sound different ways. And so that's what's really great about the NT1 also. But the pod mic looks really cool. I mean, I got one right up here. So the pod mic is right here. And I put these screens on it because it's just, with the plosives, you really need to. So I picked up these cheap screens. They're like $8-9. But this is what the pod mic looks like right here. So it is a really cool looking mic too, so you can't go wrong with that. And this is on its stand, and that is, this thing is a chunk of metal. So, and so is the NT1. So that is why I ended up getting the Rode PS A1 PS1A. I always get that backwards. The stupid boom arm from Rode, because it works great. Bro. Enjoy your reviews. Thank you so much, Derby Wubba. I appreciate you coming in, and I appreciate you saying hi. And I'm going to start doing something Thursdays, I believe, at 9 o'clock. So keep a lookout for a live stream. Even if we get in there and we have a few guys just dropping some knowledge, getting together. I mean, we're all starting YouTube channels, and I have StreamYard too, so we could jump into StreamYard. I have no problem. We could all just jump in and ask each other questions, and I could put a list together and we just go over some stuff, because we're all trying to get to the same place. So if you're interested in that, I'm gonna start doing that soon. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm just trying to get my nerve up, because actually I feel like I'm better in streaming than I am in my videos, because streaming is like, I'm more relaxed with it. When I do these videos, I feel like sometimes I'm always struggling for the next line or something, but when I'm on the fly, I'm pretty comfortable with that. So I really would like to do that, because that's really, we can interact with people and really make a nice connection to help some people out. Even like our fellow new YouTubers, you know, and just go over some things. So, right. I mean, Clever Carnage, you feel the same way? Yes. I mean, like, we're all just looking to improve and move forward with getting some things that will help you. And lighting, lighting was my little trick for a while. I was like, I need some good lighting. And I tried not to spend money on lighting in the beginning. And then every time I was like I had like a printer and I was like putting this like $15 light on the printer. And then I was like taking this other light and trying to shine it. And it was like, there was no soft light. It was way too harsh. It looked kind of crazy. And then if you look at some of my recent videos not too long ago, it's like it was too dark and I just didn't have any good lighting. And then finally over the holiday season, there was a couple great deals on the Dasny. Yeah, the Dasny DB. What are they? DB lights. I forget the Dasnys. And I picked up the two of them for like $157 with that remote. And it's like a great way and to get some good lighting for really cheap, because if anybody else knows, if you're going to go with the Elgato lights, they're expensive, and then everybody is all upset because if you buy these Dasny lights, they're DB50s or M50s or something like that. It's M50, everything's M50, but if you buy these lights, they don't go as high as the Elgato, so a lot of people hate that. They're just like, they're always struggling because even if you have like a 27-inch screen, it's like barely getting over the top of them to use the lights. And I found a little way around that. And I got these like little extenders. And if anyone's interested, I can just ask me about it. But I put the extenders right onto the light and I got like an extra foot for pretty darn cheap. So it helped a lot. Clever Carnage is lighting is the bane of my existence. Yeah, I purchased some lights recently too, hoping to help my next video's quality. What lights did you get? Because that's what I'm curious to see. I'm gonna see if I can. Let me see if I can look up the lights that I got really quick and show you. And it does. It makes a huge difference. There's like no doubt. Is my camera looking for me? Yeah, it is. Every time when I put my head down, it's just like all of a sudden my camera's like looking for me. I didn't even have anything set up. I didn't believe I was going to be on here this long. So I'm like, was really just testing some stuff. These are the Dasnys. Let me see if I can find these. There are D50s. Okay, so what do we got here? This is one of them. This is one. Okay, so these are the ones that I got, I think. So okay, so that's not so bad. Let me show you really quick. So these are the lights that I got. And I got them for about 157, I think. And this has a coupon right here though. So you can get these for 184. That's not bad at all. But keep a lookout. You may be able to get them a little cheaper, but they clamp on right here and they go up about 2 feet and they're really good. They're really bright and they do a great job. So, I mean, if you're looking for some lights, these will definitely do it. I mean, they're really effective. I think you'd be happy with them. So keep that in mind if you're looking for some lights that's trying to help you out. But those made a big difference for me and I can't be happier with them. And now since I didn't expect to be on here this long, I would have never had this thing so bright, but this is kind of like how my desktop looks. I'll show you right here. I can just make a little turn. So I got this, and then I'll drop this down a little bit. And there you go. So right on top is my ATEM mini switcher right here. Over here is the Rodecaster, and this is my mic boom arm. And then these are my JBL 305s right here. And so then I have 2 screens right here with a pole in the middle. And that's like kind of like my main setup right there. And it works pretty good. So that's what I got. It was on sale for $55. Like which you got the Dasnys? You picked up the Dasnys? right? That's what they're called, right? Dasny, yeah. Because I'm really happy with them. If you pick them up, I think you're going to be really happy with them too. There's no doubt. So, you put a link. Okay, but those work really well because I just like that they come with the remote. Because you get this remote and you can change, the warmth of them, and you can change the brightness from 0 to 100. So you got the softbox lighting kit. Okay. Hopson softbox. I don't know. I don't know what those are off the bat, but you know what it is a lot of times those soft boxes, even if it's a small one, they just take up a lot of room. And these are light panels. So I love that they're just so thin and that they're really effective. So that's really the thing that gets me is I need it to be like really easy going because I spent some money on some other stuff like this right here. I picked up these a while ago and I thought this would be really great, and it just wasn't what I was looking for. These are the newer light stands with the barn doors on them and stuff. And they're really good when I'm using them for showing stuff, but they're not good for me. For me on my desk, it's just not good. Yeah, exactly. So it's like on the desktop, Carnage is where I need it, so I don't need that. So that didn't work out perfect, and these worked out good because these were 157 for two of them, and the Elgato ones are you couldn't even get them anyway, right? 6 months ago, but the Elgato ones were $200 a pop when you can get them when they're not sold out everywhere. So at that point, it was a no-brainer, and I bought them, and I was really happy. And actually, I bought them twice because I got them for $177. And then like 1 week later, they were on sale for $157 or $55 or something like that. And so I sent them back to Amazon and I got another set and I saved myself like $20. I don't care. I'm going to do that. It's $20 in my pocket. I'm a brand new streamer. So every time I'm spending money on something, that buys two of these foams right here to cover my pod mic. So whatever it takes, to save a buck. I mean, I picked up my Rodecaster from another YouTuber, and he had it, and I had bought it from him, and he put this package together with the pod mics and stuff, and it was like $350, maybe $400 cheaper. I got like 4 headphones, I got some cables, I got 2 mics, and I got the Rodecaster for like $650. And so it's like, how could I go wrong? So at that price, it was worth every dollar. So I picked that up, and I wasn't really ready to spend that money, and I didn't want to spend it on that, but I just did it because it's like, where else am I going to pick that up for? Right. That's an insane deal, right? Carnage. So it's like, I was like, I have to do it, even though I wasn't ready to do it. It just made sense. And somehow, some way, if I try to make up the difference by working some OT or making a good trade on some stocks or something, and just try to make up the difference in whatever it is I'm spending on this, because I'm definitely not making money doing YouTube at this point, that's for sure. And fortunately, I just old enough to have a decent job where I work my butt off, and then I just come back, and this is kind of like my hobby. It used to be motorcycles, and now it's like just doing this, and I'm kind of like having a fun time with this, though. It's kind of cool, I started teaching myself how to edit in DaVinci Resolve, and my thought process on that was, don't try to learn on something that's easier and then get stuck in there. And then when you want to grow, it's too late and I have to learn something new all over again. So I just felt like let me just teach myself DaVinci Resolve and then just get better at it and better at it. And so every video that you see for the last, like, I guess 10 videos, 15 videos is all out of DaVinci Resolve, or maybe the last 20. So, and you can see progressively I get a little better and I get a little better. And that's just like the whole thing about it, is that that's everything that we try to do with YouTube. And when you are doing so many different things, you just try to get a little bit better and a little bit better. And that's all I could say about it. But as far as my mic situation, I think I'm pretty good at this point now, since I have 2 of the pod mics, and then I have this guy right here, the Rode NT1. And I have 2 BM800s, and those are really cheap. So I'm just going to hang on to them and use them as backups. You can't say that they sound bad. That's by any, I mean, as far as I personally believe this. I mean, I don't know how many other people are going to believe this or want to hear this, but the Blue Yeti versus having an audio interface with the BM800, I believe the BM800 with the audio interface sounds better than the Blue Yeti. So I could be wrong, but that's definitely what I think. I think if you try it, you might realize that also. So I don't know. That's about it, though. I'm glad a few of you guys stopped in and chatted. And if you're ever doing a stream yourselves, let me know. I like to jump in and we could shoot the breeze. And reach out to me. I got my email in my YouTube. If anyone's interested, jumping in and doing some live streaming on StreamYard, I'm trying to like getting set up for that, and then we can just like shoot the breeze about what are the couple of things that we can all work on to improve. And if anyone's out there and they're watching and this is the first time you've seen me, my name is John, and I started this Coffee Talk and Tech about 8 months ago, and I've been working pretty hard to improve my content, and I hope that you're watching and enjoying some of the content that I'm creating, and I'm going to improve upon it each time that I'm doing what I'm doing. So I appreciate anyone stopping in, and next time I will discuss about, I said it in the beginning, I don't know if anybody caught it, but my dilemma with having a 25-foot HDMI cord. And I don't know if anyone's dealt with that, but when you try to hook that up into your ATEM Mini, it doesn't work in every port. It kind of like just works in the first port, and then the other ports, it kind of is struggling. So it won't send the signal. And I don't want my rear camera 25 feet away to be my main camera. I want my number one camera to be the camera that's in front of me, because that's just the way I am. And it makes things easy when I know in my head my number one is my number one camera, and then my number 2 camera, and then my number 3 is my desktop, and then my number 4 camera is going to be the camera in the rear of me. And now I picked up a fiber optic HDMI cord, and it's the one that I presently have right now is 33 feet long. So how can you go wrong 33 feet long, and I don't have to use any HDMI extenders? So, I kind of like heard other people talking about this, and they're going to go and spend money on extenders, and they get this input from other people, I guess. And kind of like, I know a little bit about this stuff because I work in technology, and I actually splice fiber optics. And so it was like it didn't even like, it was like not even a thought. It was just like, I'm going to have to go and find a fiber HDMI cord. And I didn't know that I would be able to find one that would be more cost effective, because I haven't looked that up. But because at work, we do use extenders. So if we're going to go, 150 feet or something like that, we'll just use the extenders. I don't pay for it. Work does. And then we just use it for what we need it for. But when I'm here and I don't want to have extenders to be 50 feet. I don't want to have to plug them in. I don't want to have to deal with that. I just want to plug in my cable. And so I just got a fiber optic HDMI cord, and it works perfect. It works absolutely perfect. So that's just like one thing to keep in mind if you're messing around with your ATEM and you want to have one cable, because I don't want the cable going through the middle of my room. I want to go on the corners and out and around. And this is what I'm using right now to have that 33 feet, which I would have been happy with 25. And I figured, hey, I'm not gonna throw away 8 feet if I can get 8 feet extra. So might as well have 8 feet extra, and I can do more with that if I needed to. And so that's what I got with my ATEM Mini. And if you're just stopping in, you haven't ever seen me before. Like I said, my name is John from Coffee Talkin' Tech, and I appreciate Clever Carnage coming in and just dropping some info and saying hi. And the Derby Waba, I thanked him for coming in and saying hi. And then even my mom, thanks for stopping in and saying hi. And I'm going to go. And this little test seemed to went good. I'm going to go check it out, because who would have thought that I would have been on here over an hour? So let's just go back, and I'm going to check the audio, and I'm going to check things out and see how they sound, and expect more of me streaming. All right, guys, have a great night. I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks a lot.